Hey guys, João Pereira here, or JCMP. Today it's my first tutorial, and I'm going to show you guys how I did this aluminium man peeling effect. It was inspired by Peter Quint's tutorial. I will link it in the description. It's really solid work. So let's get in Houdini. I have my geometry here. Alright, I'm just gonna scale it up. I have my character, and first thing I'm gonna do is convert this to a polygon so I can subdivide it. Yep, by one is fine. Alright, and first thing I'm gonna do is scatter parts. Yeah, I like 100. Then the first thing you see is the points don't stick to the geometry. They just mess around even if we disable randomize. You can see they don't stick to the surface. So how do I fix this? The way I went about this is I first time shift this, and I delete channels. Alright. Nope, I did something wrong. Time shift, frame, disable this. Alright, it's on from 0, it stopped, it's frozen. I will call this freeze, and I'll drag it. And the way we're going to do this is we're gonna scatter the points on this frozen character. Then we're gonna store the animation data. I can even put no here and call this audio. Connect this here so it stays organized. And first we're gonna store the animation data. To do that, we're gonna add a point comp. Alright, and we can connect the first one here, the second one here. It doesn't really matter, just stays organized. And I press C, change the color to yellow or something. I will call this star animation. Go inside. We don't need this. I'm just gonna have the import point attribute. We're gonna import from the second input, so we're gonna import from the second input, which is this one. Alright, import 2. Go here, and we're gonna bind export this. And here the type is a float, vector, sorry. Second input, import the position, and in the name you can call it whatever you want. I'm just call it anim for animation. Alright, it's frozen, but we have the, I can even turn off the subdivide so it's quicker. We have the 2 point attributes, the position and the animation. So next thing we're gonna do is scatter the points. Alright, like you know what it should do. And UV project. Initialize. If this is only if you want to add some texture later. Yeah. And we're gonna add a born fracture. The geometry fracture is this one, and the points for the cells is this one. And before I enable this, I need to change the create inside surface. As you can see, it's broken. I can even visualize the cells. Yeah. You can increase the number of points. It's all procedural, so Okay, you can even change everything here. 200 seems good. 50. I'm just going to change this to a low number so it's faster to compute. On the Varnois, one thing I did was add the cluster, and the size I'm gonna change this to something really low. Yeah, and random detachment, something like 0.5, and you can get some clusters. You can't really see them because it's a really low scatter point, but you can see it when we start to increase. If you increase this too much, yeah, it's becoming really slow, but will give you more pieces. I will keep this 150. And next thing we need to do is restart animation, because this is frozen at the moment. To do that, we have another point file, and we call it, we'll put this yellow, restore animation. Well, yeah, start animation. To restore the animation, we just import the parameter we created above, which is a name, and it's a vector, and we just connect this to the position. If you play this now, you can see the pieces stay connected to the surface. Yep. Now, what we need to do is split the vertex, because imagine this is one vertex for 1, 2, 3 polygons, so we need to split them. To do that, we use a primitive split, and we need to use the name attribute, which is created by the Varnois. If you come here to the primitive, you can see the name. Each piece has a name. Alright, each piece. So we need to split them, the attribute, and you can see anything because it's the same vertex. The way I went about this is I had an attribute transfer, and jump to transfer the attributes to is this one, and this, and transfer attributes from this. I don't need the point attribute, I just need the primitive, which is the name. I don't need a color, so I just connect this here, this here. I can even I can disable the color. Where is it? But I think it's easier for you to visualize. If you come here, you can now see I have more points. So next, it's really low detail like here because we don't have enough scatter points, and I'll subdivide this off. So when you render, make sure to enable those. And after I do that, I can always add a file cache if you want for it to be really fast, because it has to break the points for every frame. I don't know, yeah, that's because we have to... Oh, I forgot the primitive is the name. Okay. Because we don't have the... because it has to fracture every frame, so you can add a file cache and cache it out, so it's faster. Just add a file cache if you want. Next, what I'm going to do is add a trail. You can even add it before or after, it doesn't matter. Add a trail because we don't have the velocity, attribute, and we needed to add some more realism and just compute velocity. If you think the velocity is too low, just increase the velocity scale. On mine, I think I did like 75, but it was way more energetic than this one. Sorry, bad pronunciation. Than this one. So I had like 0.45 or something, just 0.75 on this. And next, what I'm going to do is add an attribute wrangle and run over points, and I'm going to type f at pin to animation equals 1, sorry, and just an attribute that we're gonna use to animate the pieces when we add the top input. So I'm gonna just add a null so it stays clear. I'm gonna let out fracture. And next thing, I'm just gonna use the cloth from one deforming cloth object. Select this one, enter, creates the top import, right, go back, auto network, just gonna press L to layout. I don't really need gravity, I didn't use it, and this part, we just, because it's not animated, as you see, it's not using the animation, we just go to geometry, import target geometry, and it now should move, yeah, but we don't have any forces right now, so you can really see. And if we had some forces, the pieces would all go together, and we need to animate that. So I'm just gonna add a multi-solver and a sub-solver. Alright, nope, like this, sub-solver. Alright. Objects to preprocess, this one, just, and I can put this here, and solvers, I'm just gonna place them here. Alright, I don't need the merge. Yeah, it's fine. Just go inside the subsolver, in the dot geometry, I'm gonna add a group. And don't need this, I'm just gonna enable by bounding box. Press enter to show the bounding box. Just like to, just change the bounding box to something you like, something like this should work for me. I'm just gonna put it above my object. Yeah, this is fine. And I'm gonna keyframe, alt click on the parameter you want to keyframe, go forward. I'm just gonna do the whole simulation and change this to something, sorry, like this should work. Alt click again, and as you can see. And now that we have the selection by group, make sure it's on points. I believe that, don't think primitive points. Yep. I'm just gonna add another attribute wrangle and run over points. I'm just gonna type the same again, into animation equals 0 this time. Alright. Disable this. I think it's points, I'm not sure. Pin to animation is a point attribute already. So it's points. Points. Attribute wrangle. Now, you can see anything because there are no forces in the scene. And to fix it, just gonna add a simple drive simulation and force, select the object, enter. Should appear here, yeah. Just place it direction, like choose something, put it down, back a little, maybe down. Alright. This is good. Right, just now we need to keyframe the force so it doesn't stay always on. So keyframe, disable simulation, go up and change this something really high and set always. Right, you can even change the default to set always. And I also added the drag force, a standard one. Don't need to change anything here. And Peter Quint also had a really good method to separate the pieces, which was add a metaball. And the metaball was like really just to fill the object. Something like that should work. Yeah, something like that should do the job. And I'm gonna add a magnet force. And the object is this, and the magnet is this one. Press L to layout. I want the magnet force to be before all of this. So connect this here, and the subgeometry here. Alright. And I'm gonna do the same, which is keyframe. Just turn off the visibility, we don't need to see it. And I'm just gonna set always. You can even change it here. And keyframe force. And instead of going on a positive value that will attract, we're gonna go on a negative value. So it repels the geometry. And I think that's it. We just need to have rigid body ground plane. Alright. And you can even add on the auto show. I can even add a peak. As you can see, use this as a template, and the distance something really low. As you can see, it's like the pull modifier on max. Pulls the geometry in. I will use this as create a new null. I will use this collision. Alright. And I will go to the cloth parameter and deforming collider. I will select this one. Enter. Alright. Go back to Alembic. As you can see, it creates this here. We don't really need to see that, so we just go back to the topping part. And on auto top L, as you can see, both collision objects are here. Make sure use deforming geometry is on. And one last thing I did was increase the substeps. Yep, I think that's it. That's all I did. As you can see, it has the color. You can just come to the limbic and on the Vernois visualize pieces, make sure that's off. Simulation on, as you can see. And when it's done, I just added a facet. And I cusp the polygons. I like the style it gives to the geometry, and post compute normals, because the normals will change when it's simulated, so make sure to post compute. And if we add, when you simulate all of this, we'll have a similar result to what I have. To render this out, I just add a PBR node, Mantra PBR, add a camera, and an environment light, I can add a simple HDR and not enabled, something like 2, so it's really bright. And if we render this out, you can see it creates these particles. So we need to change that, and it's really easy. Just come to the facet and make sure unique points it's on, as you can see. And to add the aluminium look like this, it's really easy. I just added the material palette and search aluminium, this one. And for the background, I used the white paint and made sure it was not so bright. Alright, just gonna change this to preview. As you can see, that's basically all I did. Alt layout. Yep. I don't know. And you can even wait. Spelling. Press Control click on the render, and you can change the. You can visualize the pieces, but it will always render this one. So it's really cool. And that's all I did. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be doing more tutorials later this week. Thank you.